Welcome back to the Playdate by Freshly Picked. I'm your host, Kaitlin Hansen.
And I'm your host, Klea Turner.
Klea, it's been a minute.
I know, it's been kind of a while.
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been really good. I feel like things are getting into the groove with my mom life finally.
Yeah.
It's only taken 10 months.
Oh, I'm like, it took me 2 years.
Yeah, I feel like I'll look back in 2 years and be like, oh, I didn't have it figured out at 10 months.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm just starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel a little.
Yes.
I never thought it would end.
Yeah.
The newborn baby hard phase.
Not newborn phase, which that's what we're going to be talking about today, is the newborn trenches.
Yes. Our favorite time.
Favorite time.
I feel like people will always tell you how they're like, enjoy the newborn phase. It's my favorite phase.
Yeah.
And I do think for some people that's true.
Yeah.
Because I think some newborns are a little bit easier than others.
Right.
I had a newborn she was born a little early and she had a reflux and she was just not a happy baby and she never slept. So, but I feel like if you had a newborn that would snuggle you all the time and just slept and was just happy, I can see why people would love it.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it.
I had two different, so yes and no. I had two different experiences. So
okay.
like both babies were so different. So my first one, I was like almost 9 days overdue.
Oh.
So she was like a big old baby. Like she came out like a month old.
Okay.
Which,
how much did she weigh?
Almost 9 pounds, and she was 22 and a half inches long.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's double what my baby weighed.
Yeah. No, she was like big. Like she came out and people, like the doctors were actually shocked that she didn't weigh more. They were like, this is a 10-pound baby. Yeah. She was just big and she was chubby. She was like so chubby she couldn't even like open her eyes.
But I love it.
Yeah. It was great. It was perfect. But with her being so big, I think that she just didn't need to eat as much. And
she was just happier.
Yeah.
Just more content.
Like she truly was like a month old. She like already skipped like the newborn.
See it.
Like she came out like sleeping 5 to 6 hours. And my doctor was like, don't wake her up to eat because she doesn't need it because she's so big.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My baby wasn't 9 pounds till she was 4 months old.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's so different every kid. And like also they were shocked because normally when babies like leave the hospital, they like drop weight. No, not Liv. She like gained weight. So we left the hospital with her weighing,
I love it,
over 9 pounds.
Okay, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
That's amazing. Did you breastfeed her?
I tried. So
me too. I tried.
I had C-sections. And so with C-sections, like your milk takes longer to come in.
That makes sense.
So I was having to supplement the whole time. And
when was she hungry?
Yeah, she was
a good eater.
Yeah, she was hungry. Yeah.
She's
and like I tried breastfeeding. It's just like my milk didn't come in until like I was leaving the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And then I did it for about 8 weeks. And I like feel great about that time that I did it because it just like I had anxiety the whole time. I was like, are you getting enough food? And I feel like the second I stopped breastfeeding her, we were both so much happier. And so then with my second, I didn't even try to breastfeed. I'm like, I'm not even going to try and like latch you.
I had the exact same experience as you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the whole like trying to schedule pumping and feeding and the whole cluster feeding thing, and it just brings so much anxiety
sometimes.
In a time where you're already having to learn how to be selfless and learn how to become a mom, and it was just too much.
Yeah.
And of course, I was so worried about giving her formula, and then as soon as we did, we were both so much happier.
Oh yeah, and it's like, and I'm so happy that I like had that mentality going into my second because I did feel like a little bit sad at first that I was like, I can't make this work. But I think we're one and the same in this. Like, I'm a control freak girly. And like, it killed me not to know how many ounces she was getting and not to be able to like control that. And formula like gave that to me.
I still to this day like love knowing how many ounces she's getting because I love to know like exactly how full she is.
Right.
And that was so hard. Like, because she'd drink everything that I made and then she'd still be upset and then she'd throw it all up. And I'm like, well, you just wasted it. And now we got to recharge the boobs.
Wasted my hard effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if we're being honest, I eat like absolute crap. So like
Same.
the formula that she's getting is 10 times better nutrition than anything that's coming from me.
So people are like, breast milk is liquid gold. I'm like, maybe not if it's made out of Diet Coke and a bagel.
Yeah, same. I'm like, hot dogs and pizza are not doing it for her.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. So I'm like, and then with my second, she's 2. She just turned 2 and she still doesn't sleep through the night. And like my other Liv, she'll be 5 next Tuesday. She has always just been an incredible sleeper. Like we didn't have our first like sleepless night until she was after 1 and she was like sick. So I went in with like so jaded and I'm like, this is so easy. This is great. And then when I had my second, I got slapped upside the head because she had reflux and was like very colicky. And we were like trying to figure out formulas because everything like made her sick. And she was like projectile. And I like didn't sleep because I'm like, oh, I don't want her to like aspirate on her freaking, I don't know, spit up.
Exactly.
And I would feed her. I'd have to feed her every 45 minutes because I'd feed her and then it's all gone.
And then she's hungry again.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that cycle.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really hard coming from a baby that felt easier.
Yeah.
And going to one that's harder. Because I feel like I came from the hardest baby possible. So I'm like, if it's just as hard, I know I can do it. Right. And if it's easier, I'm great.
Yeah. Great. It like threw me for a loop. And then I also think it like heavily, I had really bad postpartum depression with Nora, my second. And I had no postpartum depression. I was like the happiest I'd been like after Liv. So I'm like, that was also really frustrating. And it was hard for me to not like compare as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, this is my theory, but I feel like postpartum depression, because I definitely had that with my baby, I feel like it comes from a lack of sleep.
Oh, yeah. But also, I have world's most incredible husband, and I did not, like, I still don't really wake up in the night now.
That's me too.
He does it.
We're so lucky.
He does it. And he's like, I know that you need more sleep, and like, you don't want to know me if I don't get sleep.
I am not.
And he runs better on
not the
low
same
sleep.
person.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why the newborn phase was so hard and I truly couldn't enjoy it is because I wasn't getting any sleep. I think if I had been sleeping in the night, I could have enjoyed the daytimes. Like, snuggling and taking care of her. But I tell this to everybody, but people will tell you how tired you're going to be before you're a mom. And you're like, yeah, I know.
Like,
of course you're going to have sleepless nights. Like, but you do not realize my labor is 20 hours and then
that is long.
It was long. And then you get to your postpartum room and they're like, okay, sleep. And then they bring your baby in 2 hours later and they're like, okay, well, you need to feed your baby. And then you're going to feed your baby 2 hours for the rest of forever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I literally was like, wait, how come I didn't know that? Like, how come I didn't know? Like, I thought in the night we'd maybe wake up like 2 or 3 times a night, but it was every single hour.
Yeah.
And it is painful.
No sleep like truly does something to you.
I see why they use that as a like torture method.
Yeah. Oh, that's my kind of torture.
No, I literally felt like I was being tortured. And my mom would come and like take some nights.
Yeah.
But it was so hard because it was like, well, I'm still going to have to get up and do that the next night. Like I didn't feel like I was catching up at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot do this forever. And in the moment, it felt like it was going to last forever.
Right.
And everyone will tell you, they're like, it gets better. It gets better. And you're like, it won't.
Well, I think when you're in the thick of it too, it's like, that almost isn't helpful because you're like, but when is it going to get better?
And you don't know because every baby's different.
Yeah.
Some babies, it gets better at 4 months. Some babies, it's 8. Some babies, it's 2 years. Like, you truly never know. I do feel like the intense sleep deprivation, I do feel like it does get better after around 6 months. Like, you start seeing some kind of like
light.
Yeah. Even if your baby's still waking up, like, I don't know if it's because your body gets more used to it or like.
Probably a combination of both.
Yeah. But I almost didn't want to hear people tell me that it was going to get better. Because I'm like, it's not. It's never going to. And now my baby started sleeping through the night at 8 months.
Good.
She still wakes up like once a night, every once in a while. And that's fine. I'm like, that's easy. I just hand her a bottle now at night and she drinks it herself.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I love like a bottle in a crib.
Oh, I know people rotten milk a lot.
And And it's fine.
Accident.
No, and they're fine. Like, it is what it is. I like take my girls I took them to the dentist early and they were like, their teeth they look great. So I'm like, that's how we're surviving. And that's fine.
I don't know. There's probably moms out there being like, oh, you leave your baby in a crib with a bottle. But I'm like, it's how we live. It's how we survive.
It is. I don't feel bad about it. I'm like, she's fine. She's thriving. Happy. Oh, she's happy. She loves a baba.
Yeah. That's exactly.
I'm like, I don't even know she's 2. And I'm like, I'm not getting rid of the bottle right now.
Anything you do that keeps them happy, you will not change it.
Yeah.
My 10-month-old still sleeps in a swing.
I think that's great.
For all of her naps.
I think that's
because
great.
She goes down perfect. You're
like, why would I
It's a 32-pound weight limit. She's only 20 pounds. I'm like,
you've got time.
It's fine. I got 10 more pounds to go.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why would I give up her perfect naps?
No.
I hate when you have to change something.
Same.
Every new phase is so hard.
Yeah.
She's almost growing out of her baby car seat. Mm-hmm. And I love putting her baby car seat on her stroller to go do errands.
That was a hard adjustment for me.
And having to get them out every time. Mm-hmm. And I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Our days are numbered.
That's a hard change. It was funny. So speaking of no sleep, my 2-year-old, she is getting 6 teeth at the same time.
No.
Yeah. So she's been like
molars because she's 2.
Molars. And then she was kind of later on her teeth. She's getting both top and bottom eye teeth.
Poor girl.
It's been a rough 2 weeks.
Oh, I bet.
She, for a week and a half, did not eat, would not eat food. And I was like, thank goodness she's still drinking your bottle. Cause I'm like, you're getting nutrition and you're getting hydrated. And her gums were just bleeding. She only wanted my husband, which I'm like, okay, well, I can say
that's fine.
Yeah. And just so miserable. Mm-hmm. But now she's kind of on the tail end of it. And last night, so my husband he's been doing it for days in a row. And I was like, I've got this tonight. So she woke up. I actually didn't hear her at first. And my husband woke me up. He's like, hey, go get her.
Get her.
So I'm like, okay. So I go in there and pick her up, grab all of her crap because she's really into her baby doll, her stuffed animal, her blanket. Yes, her bottle. And I was like, I'll just go take her down to the theater. It's dark and quiet and cool down there. She wanted to play. So from the hours of 12:30 until 4 a.m.
And you feel bad because you're I know you're hurting, so I'll play with you.
Yeah. But no, she was happy. She was so happy. We put a mattress down in the theater because I'm like, I'm just gonna
Smart.
It's so nice.
You can kind of close the kids in.
Yeah.
It's a little baby.
And I can take a nap. And there's a big TV.
Is genius.
Yeah. It's so nice.
Yeah.
That's my mom hack right now.
Okay, I love it.
But I woke up and she had, because I had fallen asleep and she's just playing. And I woke up and she has no diaper on. She took her diaper off. And she was jumping on her little trampoline. And I look up and she goes, I jump in. And she jumped for an hour last night.
That is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Just playing naked.
And I'm like, great girlfriend. Where's the diaper though?
Did you poop in the corner?
No, she did. Yeah. And it's fine.
No.
Yeah. But it's fine. I'm like, I pick it up, whatever. I don't care.
It's fine.
I'm like,
spray some dog spray on it. We're good.
I'm like, we got that little green machine.
Yeah.
All is well.
Yeah.
She finally went down at 4 and then slept on the mattress with me. And then, yeah. And it's all good. And then this morning she wakes up and she's like, I love you. And I'm like,
I love you too, girl.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't even be mad.
They're so cute.
They do sweet little things.
And teething is so hard.
Yeah.
If she's crying for no reason, it kind of frustrates me because I'm like, what? And I'll try everything. We do every trick and it's not working. But if I know she's teething, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. It's it's just sad. When you know your kid is in pain or sick, it's so sad. And she just got 2 teeth. I'm like, I can't imagine 6.
Yeah. I was like, this should be illegal.
Girl.
Yeah. We would try and brush her teeth so gently and it just would gush blood. I took her and I'm like, does she have gingivitis?
She's no, she's just getting
they're she's just getting a few teeth. I was like, check her for earaches, check her for a UTI. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's just a lot of teeth.
It's just so many teeth. And I feel teeth never, it never ends. They're just, of course, just continue getting teeth.
Right. Oh, no, that's the thing. Until they're at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, now that we started teething, I'm like, oh, so we're never going to stop teething.
No.
Ever.
No. And I flossed too hard and like my tooth hurts. So like I can't imagine like getting
any
that
kind
many
of like
teeth.
teeth. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing it.
No.
But
But it makes me think of like, as your kids get older, there's always going to be something that's hard.
Yeah.
Because like True was hard when she was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I feel like things have gotten a lot easier. It's definitely not as hard as when she was a newborn.
Yeah.
But now she's crawling and she's all over the place. She's like a toddler in a 10-month-old's body.
She's like, I'm on the move.
Yes. And so then now that's hard. But like we got past the sleepless nights. So now it's like a new hard.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that's just the theme of motherhood.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's been my experience so far. And it's funny too. I'm like, they say that if you have like a hard baby, it's like an easy toddler. But I had like my first was so easy until she turned like 2 or 3. And now she's a little bit harder. Like, I don't want to say harder. I'm like, she's very spirited and feisty and all the things that are going to serve her so well later in life. But I think that are kind of frustrating for a mom right now. And then I'm like waiting for Nora to like maybe be an easier toddler, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Knock on wood.
I know, right?
You never know.
Tell me about some things that you did to kind of like dig yourself out of the newborn trenches.
I feel like I had a really good support system. And I know a lot of people don't have that. If you don't have like family or anyone, I would highly recommend like paying somebody to come, either if it's like a night nurse, if your baby is very hard like that and waking up so many times. Honestly, even like with my family and with the help, that's something I will definitely consider.
Yeah.
With my next baby, which I know is so expensive, but I'm like, I just need to save up for it now because
it's like, it's priceless though. Like truly, like if it helps you be a happier person, I'm like, there's no price that's like worth your mental sanity.
Right. I think the other thing too was I was determined. I'm like, I'm not going to change. Like, I'm not going to lose myself. Like, I'm going to just be a mom. And I was so frustrated, or I'm going to be myself while I'm a mom.
Yes.
And I was so frustrated when I was so tired and I couldn't do anything besides, I literally for 5 months, I would wake up every day and we'd move down to the couch and we'd watch a show on the couch and she'd eat and sleep and I would cry. And then we'd go to bed. Like, and I didn't feel like I could leave the house. I didn't feel like, I just did not feel like myself. And I heard people say that. I heard people say, you won't feel like yourself for a few months and it will come back. And I was like, no, I'm going to feel like myself right now. And
that can be frustrating too, because you're setting expectations for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think just going into postpartum and the newborn stage, knowing that it's going to end, but like just leaning into it and leaning into just slowing down. I'm just not a person that likes to slow down.
Yeah, same.
So that was hard.
I'm a busybody, always.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a chronic overcommitter. I'm so good at overcommitting.
We're the same.
Yeah.
My other advice would be, because I like to be out and about and being at home was so hard for me. I think for some people, they love it actually. Like they love the change of pace, but it was so hard for me. And when she was around like 3 or 4 months, I don't know, the timelines. Blurry.
Oh, my God. Yeah, same.
Very blurry.
Yeah.
But maybe 3 or 4 months, and my husband went back to work. I just said, okay, every day for this whole week, I'm going to make both of us leave the house together. Because being just trapped in the house all day for my mental health is not okay.
Yeah.
I have to leave. So, and it was so hard because like I was scared to drive with her by myself.
Yeah.
The first time driving with your baby alone.
Oh, you're like, oh gosh. Like, are they wiggling too much like in the back?
Like, they're not breathing and I can't stop the car. But for that whole week, I just said, okay, I'm getting her dressed, I'm getting me dressed, and we're going to go to the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, or we're going to walk around Target, or we're going to
baby steps.
Exactly. And that week, like, I was like, oh, actually, like, getting out of the house with her is so much better. I got to be a pro at getting the stroller out and unloading the thing. And now we still, to this day, we leave the house every single day to go do something. And she, my baby, she'll get fussy if we stay at home all day. So now she's just like me.
She needs it.
But it's been so much better. And as they get older and it's like warm, like you can go to the park or you can go to the zoo, or like it gets more and more fun the older they get because they start interacting with things. And so I don't know. I just think knowing that there's things to look forward to and things really do get easier.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear that at the time. And I don't even want to tell people that because it like sucks to hear. But they really do. One day when you look back, and then there's harder things too, but for me, the newborn stage was so hard.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting with your two babies, how you had two totally different experiences.
Totally different. And like, I mean, one thing that I did do that was so nice with my second is I was working full time until I gave birth, like literally until I worked the same day that I gave birth. But I kept my nanny and she would take Liv out of the house to like go do activities. And that was so nice because I feel like with having one, you all your energy is focused on that. And you really do get to like soak some of those. Cause as much as it is hard, it's like there's also like those newborn snuggles are like so incredible and just like looking at them and like listening to all the noises. And I loved that she would take Liv out of the house, go do an activity. It made me feel like a good mom because I'm like, yeah,
my
I didn't
kid's having
take
fun.
you. Yeah, but I'm like, I provided that activity for you. And then I could just focus on my recovery and I could focus on the baby. And like, I'm so glad that I had that one-on-one time with just my babe. And
that's hard with a second.
It is.
I am actually so scared to have a second because I'm like, how do you give the attention to your first baby? I feel like that's a very good, like having a nanny or someone from your family or someone, a friend or someone that can just take your kid so you have your bonding time, you have your recovery time. But I know it's tricky.
It's so hard. And I think too, like I utilized so much help my second and people love to help. And it helped me when I like wrote out, hey, here are things that would be helpful. Come over and do my laundry. Or I really want this like closet organized. Do that. Here are the meals that I just want you to like drop off on the porch.
Yeah.
Come and take Liv. That was the most helpful thing with my second was like, just come take my child for like a play date.
Yeah.
If I like trust you.
Right.
Just things like that. Or like bringing Liv an activity or
just coming over to play with her.
Yeah. I was a lot more vocal about things like my needs and things that would actually be helpful. And I wasn't scared or worried about inconveniencing people. I think I was also just so depressed my second that I was just like, I can't do this.
Right.
So I have no choice but to let other people help me.
But I'm proud of you for letting people help you because a lot of people go through postpartum depression and they still don't have anybody help them. And it just makes it so much harder and so much worse. So
it does. Yeah.
I think your second probably gives you a little perspective though. I should have accepted a lot more help with my first.
Well, it's hard too. It's like, especially like you're like an independent queen. You like to do your stuff. I always feel like I'm like inconveniencing people. But my first, I was like, oh, I got this. And I think just because she was such an easier baby, it was easier to do it myself.
Right.
But it's crazy.
So crazy.
It changes.
Yeah. The newborn phase is so hard for some people. And for some people, it's so easy.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people that when they say like, oh, you'll have a hard toddler or whatever. I don't think that's the case. I think some people just have a bunch of easy babies.
Yeah.
Some people have a few hard ones. And it's really kind of the luck of the draw.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked what you said too when you texted me, like, just because you don't like the newborn phase or it's not coming easy to you or you feel like it's especially hard, you are not a bad mom. Like you are a good mom. And there's phases, like Susan tells me this all the time. There are phases of motherhood that you will enjoy more than others. So like she tells me, she's like, I love parenting teenagers. She's like, I found my stride with that. And I think that's so true. Like it's okay if you don't enjoy the newborn phase.
Right.
Like,
well, in each kid, you probably enjoy different phases too.
Oh, for sure.
But I know, I think a lot of moms will feel guilt around that. And they'll be like, you're going to miss this time. And I would give anything to like hold her as a newborn for one more time. But I wouldn't give anything to go back to that phase.
Yeah. And
like,
that's okay.
Even though she's hard right now, like it's way easier than it was. And so
every phase is different. Every phase you're going to like differently than somebody else. And you're a good mom and you're doing your best. And anything like if you keep your kid alive and you're doing good, that's what my husband, he's like, your only job is like, keep the kids alive.
And that's a big job.
That's winning. Like getting out of bed in the morning is winning. Yeah. So
true.
Yeah. Any other tips or advice that you'd like to give to new moms or people that are struggling in that newborn phase?
I just think I compared myself so much to other moms,
hard.
Which everyone does. Everyone's like, don't compare. I'm like, you're going to compare.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Especially if you're on social media. Maybe that would be one of my tips is like delete Instagram for a while.
Yes.
And Instagram is so overwhelming because then there's every breastfeeding tip and there's every sleep training tip and there's every hour and schedule that you should be doing and for your baby to sleep good and every course you should take. And that was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to delete social media because I love it. I'm addicted.
Oh, same. I love a good scroll.
But I feel like if you deleted in like all social media for the first like month or two of your baby's life, I feel like you would be set up for some good success because you're not sitting there being like, well, this mom's, because every mom posts like, my baby slept a 10-hour stretch last night. And you're like, not
when you're in the thick of it, it's like, shut the F up.
Oh, I hated people.
Yeah.
That would be like, my baby actually sleeps great. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. You're like, that's not helpful.
I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in and we'll see you next time.